Good evening and welcome to the Gurnee Village Board regular meeting of August 19th, 2019. Roll call, please, Andy.
Thorstenson.
Here.
Ross. Here. Garner.
Here.
O'Brien.
Present.
Balmas.
Present.
Hood.
Here.
6 present.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. First, I want to say on behalf of the board, fabulous Gurnee days. Every department shined, great crowds, everything went smooth. Fireworks were spectacular, booths, parade, everything. So thank you. I know everybody puts a lot of work, extra work in over the weekend, so we really had a nice opportunity to show off. So good job. And our first item is the approval of the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee Ross. Roll call, please, Andy.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
6-8.
All right, motion carries. Patrick, please read the consent agenda into the record.
Item number 1, approval of the minutes from the executive closed session meetings on August 6, 2018, January 7, 2019, March 4, 2019, April 15, 2019, and July 1, 2019. Item number 2, approval for public release of minutes from executive closed session meetings on August 6, 2018, March 4, 2019, April 15, 2019, and July 1, 2019. Item number 3, approval of the minutes from the August 5, 2019 Village Board meeting. Item number 4, approval of recommendation from Fire Department to purchase 2020 Chevrolet Tahoe from low bidder Raymond Chevrolet at a cost of $35,638.73. Item number 5, approval of payroll for period ending August 2nd, 2019 in the amount of $895,341.10. Item number 6, approval bills for period ending August 19, 2019 in the amount of $2,319,557.09.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as read into the record? Motion by trustee Garner, second by trustee Balmas. Roll call, please.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
6-8.
All right, motion carries. We're going to move on to petitions and communications. I'll call each one for a vote, but just overall, we're doing a little shifting in the committee assignments, so I kind of thought this through, and I've talked to each of the trustees, and they are willing to serve and take on some new responsibilities. So I'll call each one. Do I have to get a vote on it?
On the acceptance of the resignation letter, I don't think so.
All right, so first item is accepting trustee Thorstenson's resignation from the Economic Development Committee. I'm just reading that into the record. Number 2 is approval of Mayor Kovarik's recommendation to appoint trustee Hood as chair of the Economic Development Committee. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee O'Brien. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Item number 3, I'll read into the record. Acceptance of trustee Hood's resignation from the Northeast Lake County Consolidated Emergency Telephone System Board. And then item number 4 we'll vote on. Approval of Mayor Kovarik's recommendation to appoint trustee Garner to the Northeast Lake County Consolidated Emergency Telephone System Board. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee O'Brien. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, and for the trustees with new assignments, staff will get you up to speed in the meeting schedule and all that other good stuff that goes along with it. Move on to reports. Any reports?
Not tonight.
Okay. Any old business?
No.
All right, we'll move on to new business. The first item is approval of ordinance 2019
55?
55, adding one Class 7 liquor license by amending Section 6-56 of the Gurnee Municipal Code entitled Alcoholic Beverages. This is for Aha Sushi at 5101 Washington Street. Patrick?
Sure. So you had a memo from me on this. Aha Sushi has historically had a Class 7 liquor license. A prerequisite to hold a local license is that you need a state of Illinois liquor license. They had missed the deadline for the state license. So when May 1 came around and we did our annual audit of liquor licenses to make sure the amount issued equals what's in the municipal code, we had one Class 7 hanging out there, which was AHA, so we reduced the municipal code by one Class 7. AHA subsequently got everything taken care of at the state level, received their state license, and have reapplied for a Class 7 license. So since we removed it, we need to amend the municipal code to add that back in. As I said, they've historically had a Class 7 liquor license, haven't had any issues out there with them, and they would like to continue to offer beer and wine for sale on site.
Questions from the trustees? Trustee Thorstensen?
So I imagine, to me, this looks like a process discussion, because obviously we already removed them and now we're having to reapprove them, but, so were they just late with their processing and filing?
I was told it was a timing issue with the state, yeah.
Oh, with the state?
With the state. You need to have a state license before you can have a license with us. They didn't receive their state license, so they were working through that process, didn't reapply with us because they hadn't received the state license yet, and then we went ahead and amended the municipal code. So in the future, I mean, we could wait a little bit longer on the village's end in case someone is working through that process to avoid having to come back twice. So,
Well, that's the thought. I mean, I don't know what's enough allowable gap that would make sense, so we didn't have to do it twice.
Sure.
That's my only thought.
understood.
Okay. Motion approved. Second.
I have a motion from trustee Thorstensen, second from trustee Ross. Roll call, please, Andy.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
6 ayes.
Motion carries. Item number 2, approval of request from Mr. Ron Grizik to extend Ashbury Woods final planned unit development authorization for a 2-year period to August 21st, 2021.
Sure. So you had a memo from our community development director, Dave Ziegler, on this. Ashbury Woods is out off of Hunt Club Road on the east side, south of the intermediate school site. It's a development that was approved, has been in the works and has been approved, has been before you a couple times with some tweaks, but most recently in August 2017 received its final PUD approval with a 2-year time frame to commence work on the process or on the project. So if you're driven by the site, you can see that no progress or no work has started yet. So the applicant's just requesting an additional 2-year extension to begin construction on the project versus having it expire and starting all over. So the memo included some background information on the project. None of that is changing. It's just an extension of the time frame to get started on it so the final PUD doesn't lapse.
Do we have a limit on how many times you can get an extension on a PUD?
There is no limit as far as extension requests in the zoning ordinance, so each time it's up to the village board to make that decision.
Questions from the trustees?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee Garner. Roll call, please, Andy.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
6 ayes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you, David. Might as well stay up there. Item number 3, approval of recommendation from the Planning Division to remand trio car wash variations and special use permit requests back to the Planning and Zoning Board for re-review as a result of changes to the redevelopment plan.
Sure. The memo from our associate planner, Claire Gable, on this. So the owners of the Sitco station on East Grand have submitted a plan to redevelop that site and expand it onto 2 parcels to the west and 1 parcel to the southwest to create an L-shaped lot, which they want to install a car wash on. So the gas station would be demoed. The only thing that would be left on the site that's currently existing would be the car wash equipment room. Everything else would start from scratch and be new. So they were before the Planning and Zoning Board on July 17th with numerous numerous requests for variations and special use permits. When that meeting was concluded, the results were 8 favorable recommendations, 3 unfavorable, and 1 no recommendation. After that meeting, the owners and applicants went back, revised the plans substantial enough that the recommendations from the Planning and Zoning Board may change. So staff is recommending that it just be remanded back to the Planning and Zoning Board for them to take a look at, talk to the applicant about that, and they're in agreement with that recommendation. So this would kick it back to the PZB to consider with the changes that have been made to the plans. They will review that, make another recommendation on the variations in special use permit requests, and then it'll come back before the village board.
Questions from the trustees?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee O'Brien. Roll call, please, Andy.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
6-0.
Motion carries. Item number 4, approval of recommendation from the Engineering Division to award the Delaney Road Water Main Replacement Project between Old Grand Avenue and Route 41 to the low bidder, Lenny Hoffman Excavating, at a cost of $724,374.
Sure. So included in this year's budget were 2 water main replacement projects. One is on Ferndale, which is currently under construction and making good progress and nearing completion. The second was the water main on Delaney. So those that have drove down Delaney between Old Grand and 41, you see there's numerous patches in that pavement that have been cut over the years from water main breaks. We've had issues with this stretch of main. It dates back to the original system back in the 1960s. So included funding in the budget to take care of that stretch. We received 5 bids. High bid was $880,000. Low bid was Lenny Hoffman Excavating at just over $724,000. We've worked with them in the past. They're capable, reputable firm, able to do the work. And as I had in my notes, anxious to get started on this because it is going to involve tearing up some pavement, and we'd like to get the water main in place and that pavement back in place before the cold weather hits and the asphalt plants close.
Questions from the trustees? Trustee Garner?
How confident are we that this can get done before first snowfall?
Dave or
Heather?
Heather?
We wrote into the contract with the contractor, so we made it apparent when they were bidding that that is our intent. So we're fairly confident we can hold them to that or enforce liquidated damages if they don't.
For the record, that's Heather Gillan, village engineer. Other questions?
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee Thorstenson. Roll call, please.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
6-0.
Motion carries. All right, item number 5.
Fine reputation you've got, Jimmy.
Approval of 2019 trick-or-treating hours for Saturday, October 26th, from 2 to 5 p.m. Based on the recommendation of Chief Smith, keeping with our daylight hours, non-school night. We did have discussion about moving it to during the week, but we are recommending that we keep it on the weekend, daylight hours, non-school night. I know.
Not
If you,
gonna-
if
not-
trustee Balmas, go right ahead.
Once again, I think Halloween should be on Halloween. There are other communities that do it. So I am a contender that in following all the restrictions, guidelines that our chief has put together, I see no reason that it can't be of a evening when it's fun, and let the teachers deal with, I'm kidding. The sugar high the next day. I'm an ex-school teacher, so I know how that could be. But it still is more fun to have a little dark hours in there. And I also think it shouldn't be on Saturday. I mean, I think we should, if we're going to have it, and I know that the feelings are that Saturday is a good time, but I think it is a problem for our community having a completely different day than any other community.
You know, Snickers is running a petition right now.
Pardon me?
Snickers is running a petition right now to move it to Saturday permanently for the whole United
Well,
States.
then that'll be good for our community, for all the residents who don't like it on the Saturday, so. But I still think it should be on Halloween for Halloween's fun.
I'm glad you're consistent. Any other comments? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Hood, second by trustee Thorstensen. Roll call, please.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
No, nay.
Hood.
Yes.
It's 5 aye, 1 no.
All right, motion carries. You know what you need to do, Jack. All right, that's the end of all our new business. I'll open the floor to public comment.
I thought this was Lenny.
My name is Phil from Stop ATO. I just wanted to talk about I talked about the stack height increase of a midline in Waukegan last time, and I mentioned that the higher stack height means the ETO is going to be spread further, including this community. So I think I suggested to come to the hearing and voice your concerns, and I don't think any of you guys came, so I just want to fill out what happened. Planning, and after multiple people made comments, Planning and Zoning Commission voted 7-1 no to recommend to the City Council alderman not to move forward. And alderman's going to ultimately make a decision on September 3rd. So, like I said last time, I think Mayor Long, everybody here, the most important job that you have is to protect the health and safety of your residents. And this is the opportunity. Basically, somebody's trying to dump garbage into your village. You know, they're trying to make a decision. They have a lot of garbage. They don't want it, so they're trying to dump it to you. So you have to do something about it. And September 3rd, please voice your concern, and so that Alderman can vote no to the stack increase. Thank you.
Thank you, so. Any other?
Hi, my name is Diane Soraka. I'm a resident of Gurnee for 31 years, and I'm here to talk about the incident that has happened in Smyrna, Georgia. They're very similar to our situation in Gurnee. Within the past week, their television station, CBS affiliate, put out a special notice in their television programming. I know that we've had issues in the past about not being, that we needed to be validated, that we weren't accurate in our comments, but I hope that you would feel that a television station going out on the public airways is, in fact, valid. So, with your permission, volume up, volume up. Okay, so this is basically a company next door to Sterigenics. They share a wall.
Not a stone. Now, if I give it a little throw, that's where the next business is. It's only
You know
a
what,
stone's throw
a
away.
point of order,
Other
that's
businesses
not
tell me
considered
around here
public
that the
comment,
ethylene oxide-
something that we can't see you. Unless that reporter wants to be here, that's not public comment.
But it's public comment to the community,
It's not
isn't it?
considered, you can make a public comment.
Okay, then I will.
But playing something, just please, just in your own
That's a-
words.
Absolutely. What's happened in Smyrna is that, as I started to say, Sterigenics has a combined wall with another company, IGH. IGH has been there for quite a while. They have a notice up on their walls saying that they do not want their employees coming in for their own safety. In fact, they are closing their facility. The station went on to interview other companies, and they are leaving town of Smyrna, and it's going to impact the financial taxing and the income coming into Smyrna. They aren't the first ones. Other companies have expressed a similar situation. This company, I think I said, that if they had known beforehand that ethylene oxide was in their area, they never would have come in. Their employees have symptoms. The Sterigenics plant that is next door is saying that they're staying. So why am I talking about Sterigenics? It's not Vantage, it's not Medline. Well, the preliminary reports, and I do say the preliminary testing reports, reported that Vantage is 55 times above the EPA allowed standings, and that is the preliminary report of the last testing batch. We will have an official comment from IEPA, National EPA, IDPH, Illinois Department of Public Health, the Village Board of Gurnee, probably the Village Board of Waukegan. Anybody that partially paid for that study would be involved in the final summary. That is going to take time. It took time in Sterigenics. It will probably take months in order for us to receive that report. So I just wanted to let you know what's going on in other towns. We know what's going on in Sterigenics in Willowbrook. They shut them down. They still have a seal order. They've gone to court. The homeowners prevailed, and now they're going to court again. I should also add that the communities of Burr Ridge, Willowbrook, and 4 other communities around are pooling their resources to buy Sterigenics property. This is how serious they are about getting this toxic gas out of their town, because it is a cancer-causing gas. Our neighbors also participated in a U of I blood draw sponsored by the Center for Disease Control, CDC, last Saturday, and those results are hands off Gurnee, hands off Waukegan. They're going to be evaluated by U of I on an anonymous basis. And again, those results will not be published until the fall. We do not get information by individuals, neither do the village boards, neither does anyone else. The only people that get an individual report is the person who they draw the blood from, in the mail to their home. We would get a roll-up summary, as would the villages. So just to let you know what's been going on in our neighborhood with our neighbors, and that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane.
My name is Eric Sindermann. Reference just the last speaker there, you brought up a point of order as far as putting an audio from a news agency. I am intending on bringing something in at the next meeting pertaining to everybody here, and I would like to address the board and ask how you would like that to be presented. What I have is I have 2 documents presented to us by the village through the FOIA request pertaining with about 5% or less of the requested material. We're being told that it's all there, so we're going to be bringing it in here, and I had offered to play it upon your computer. I'm being told we cannot. So I'm asking the board, how would you like me to prepare that document in order that you may view that publicly right here? We're talking maybe 8 minutes, 7 minutes of your material.
You can meet with the police chief. If he feels it needs to be an agenda item, he'll work with our village administrator to schedule it, that it's some matter of business, official government business, that action's required by the board.
That's fine, but again, my question is, how should I bring it in for presentation? On a USB?
If Chief Smith decides that this board needs to take action on whatever you have, he will work with the village administrator to have it placed. It has to be an agenda item for you to play it, for it to be played here.
I understand that, and that's why I'm coming to the board to do it, because I've already actually addressed matters here. I believe I've exhausted those avenues in its entirety. It's already been 6 months, and that information still has not. In fact, we believe we have tampered evidence, and that's why I'm bringing it to you guys. You guys are already named actually in the case, each of you individually, so I think it's important that it be brought to you, the mayor,
if it's
as
a
well
case
as,
that's being adjudicated, it would not be before us. That's
no,
the
it's
end of
not. No, it's not being brought before you. I'm bringing it to you to give every opportunity, because I've actually used the chain of command, both at the law enforcement, I've used the chain of command both in the administrative office, and I'm coming to you now as senior executive power, as well as the legislative powers. I believe that it's you that ultimately has to make a decision on how that gets brought in to a public venue, because the people in the community, I believe, need to know what's going on. So again, I'm respectfully asking, how should I bring that in 2 weeks in order that it may be reviewed on your equipment? Because I understand some are saying it's antiquated, others are saying we don't have certain capabilities. So I want to know whatever it is that I can do to accommodate
We're not going
you.
to adjudicate here.
We're not looking for any decision
decision
of that sort.
This is a board that takes action on village business. If
Correct.
it's village business, you meet with Chief Smith. If he feels it's something that this board needs to vote on, he will approach the village administrator, who puts it on an agenda. Myself and our village attorney approves the agenda. And if it's a matter that has to be voted on by this board, that's the appropriate.
We're
But
not
you
looking
don't
for-
bring something to be played here. You can make a public comment, you can read
I
something.
understand that, ma'am, but I'm not looking for any adjudication here. Again, I've already brought it to the village administrator. The village administrator has already done his duty to pass that information back over to the Village of Gurnee Police. I have spoken with the chief personally on the matter. I believe, hands down, it is very deficient. I've spoken with a number of employees on the side as well who, we give reason to, have given cause for me to come and stand before you today. I've spoken with Pat's assistant Jack regarding the type of equipment that we have here. Again, my understanding is we are still wired. It's not a wireless setup. We're dealing with some of the old equipment, but we have newer technology as far as computers and so on. The information that is being presented to Patrick, that is being presented to this board, to yourself, to Brian, I believe he's not here today, has been presented to Brian, we believe is falsified. So that's why I'm coming to you. Again, you're the senior-most officials both on the legislative and executive side, and I believe there is cause for intervention on your part to see to it that 100% of all the requested material is released at once.
And that's not the mayor's job.
No.
If you don't believe what you received in the FOIA is all the information that you're due, that needs to go up to the state of Illinois. It needs to go up to the Attorney General. It needs to go up to the Public Access Counselor. You've been provided that information when you filled out the FOIA request, that if you don't feel sufficient, it needs to go to the PAC. It doesn't go to the mayor, it doesn't go to me.
I understand that,
It goes
but
to
we
the
still
PAC.
have
That's your next step, not the village board.
Well,
This board will not take action on a Freedom of Information Act, whether it's complete or not complete.
Not asking you to
need
take action
follow
on a
due
Freedom of
process.
Information Act. I'm asking you to take a look at the material and to properly respond and possibility of dealing with some disciplinary action on the law enforcement side.
Well, we certainly don't handle disciplinary matters here at the
Civil
board.
Service Commission is under your jurisdiction still, even though they may be an outside entity. You're the senior-most members of this village. You are responsible.
The civil service is appointed. Those appointments are voted on by the board, but the board does not interfere with the actions of the Civil Service Commission.
So you're not going to allow me to present this material in 2
If
weeks?
this is about a FOIA, you have another, the proper process for that is not here at the board. It's to follow the process to basically appeal Freedom of Information Act.
If you
No,
wanna
that
bring
part
it-
I'm aware of, and I'm aware of all the adjudicating processes, or for the steps of adjudication, I'm aware of all of that. This is a sidestep here that's not trying to bypass anything, but is in fact bringing a matter that needs to be, again, a public venue, addressing it so that all 7 of you, as well as the gentleman here to the left, and responsible, I believe you're the gentleman responsible for all of the electronics, so on. Again, you guys are all named in the matter, in the big picture, but I'm trying to bring this to you respectfully to allow an opportunity for everybody to, hey, let's wash our hands of this, let's relinquish everything that's supposed to be required by law. I've been given names who's been putting the brakes on it. But again, 6 senior members or sole members of the legislative body senior member of the executive branch, you have a power and an authority and a responsibility to take an action if there's an impropriety of some element.
And if you go through the process with the state and they inform us that we did not follow the Freedom of Information Act correctly, we will be informed and we will adjust our policies and procedures accordingly.
Final answer. So you're turning me over to him again.
If your Freedom of Information Act is about a police matter, yes, you'd start with the police chief.
Thank you for your time.
I'm sorry, in follow-up, you still don't know who I am. In follow-up to that gentleman's question, because I don't really understand, but I've been here where things appear on the agenda. For example, when the firefighters gave their report when that building blew over there, or when the report came from the gentleman who was doing the survey, they bring it up, it's on the agenda, and they use the overhead projection. So, correct me if I'm wrong, it would have to appear on an agenda item, and then without a FOIA, without whatever, it would have to work its way through the system to get on the agenda, and then the equipment would be able to be used, am I correct?
The purpose of these meetings is to take action on village business that requires the authority of the legislative body. It's not just PowerPoints and videos and stuff. So if we have legitimate business that we need to take action on, it's on an agenda, it has to be noticed so many days in advance.
Right.
And if we make a change to the agenda, then we have to renotice it, and we can't do that less than 72 hours from a meeting. We cannot take any action on anything that's not been on the agenda. We have to give the material to the board in advance.
Okay, so if, as on the agenda today, it had like a approval of the budget, pay the employees, and all stuff like that. Thank you, that was it, thanks.
Hi, my name's Jacqueline. I'm a Gurnee resident. I moved here 2 years ago with my husband right after getting married because we wanted a safe and comfortable place to start building a family.
And last name?
Walton.
Thank you.
Jacqueline Walton. My husband is Christopher. I have a lot of questions, but I hate speaking publicly, so I don't ask them. But in listening to you speak to the last two residents, I'm curious why ETO isn't on the agenda. Is that considered business, village business? Just curious.
We've had it on when there's action required by the village board.
I've been to previous meetings and I hear you interact with other people. When I hear people from Stop ETO or concerned residents stand up and speak, I don't hear much back and forth when maybe there is other comments, people commenting, and you continue on a conversation with them. I'm just curious what proactive actions you're planning on taking regarding ETO and businesses spewing carcinogens. And I'm honestly just asking because we do intend to start a family, and I'm a little scared and nervous to do that here. We have friends who followed us to Gurnee and purchased a house, and they already have children, and they moved immediately. They turned around and sold that house and moved, and we don't want to move, but we are very scared. We're concerned. Do you have anything to say to that, or?
If you want to leave your email address with the village clerk, we'll send you information.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by trustee Baumas, second by trustee Garner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.